Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. It's here.
Sorry.
Possibly the least known person in the room. My name is Bruce Robertson. I'm the independent chair of the Audit, Risk and Finance meeting. My auspices that this funding round is taking place. It's an exciting afternoon for me. It's great to see what the community does and how our services can be community led and driven. So welcome to everybody, and to those of you that participate this afternoon, I'm deeply appreciative. It is important that we can hear people, so can we make certain cell phones and other matters silent, please? Particularly for external people, please note that we are recording the meeting and actually on YouTube. Even if you're like me and a visitor to the place, speaking to best of people that know this room better than I do in the case of an emergency, but you can see a green sign there and obviously the front door out there. Yeah, in case. Members, it would be great to start with Eric here as we go into an important afternoon. I wonder if you'd join me, please, in saying, Eric. Kia ora te marino. Kia whakapapa whanau te mahana. E orani mā Thank you for that. Right, do we have any Barton as well? Oh, and Councillor Olds, that's right, because of need. Yep. Okay. So we have 3 apologies. I'll move from the chair, we sustain those. Do I have a seconder, please? Okay. For the motion, all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, it's carried. Are there any interests that you need to declare? I'm conscious this is a meeting where many councillors, possibly through association of very good local community organisations, may have interest. I think it's important just to recognise those and to participate with them.
Yeah, perceived conflict of interest around Country Village Heaven Trust, and that I am a financial supporter of that organisation.
And I think, as we've discussed, for that matter, it would be wise just to refrain from discussion or vote. Thank you very much. Are there any other matters? I want to stress it's not a problem. We're a small country. Groups. This is not a we need to recognise it because we're a decision-making body. So thank you for that. Right, Robin, we have a bit of a challenge to get through a good number of people in some reasonably fast order. So we've got roughly 6 minutes, a group, if I can call it that. So I would encourage people that are presenting to try and restrict their comments to probably around about 3 or 4 minutes. Leaves us with a minute or 2 minutes to ask questions before we move on. So that would be great. Robin, are we ready with the Featherston Community Centre Charitable Trust?
So the person hasn't arrived.
Right.
I recommend we move on.
So what about the SPCA, the Masterton Centre, please? Thank you. Come to the table. I'm sorry you're way down that end. You'd be welcome to come down here and look us in the eyeballs. That would be absolutely fine. No trouble with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can invite you to
start
your application. That would be great.
Thank you. Awesome. So hello, everybody. My name is Rebecca Johnston. I'm the Centre Manager for the Masterton branch of the SPCA. I've been working for the SPCA for the past 15 years, and 6 of these have been devoted to the Masterton Centre in the Wairarapa region. I'd like to thank you for your opportunity to talk with you today and apply for the Community Youth Grant. Your continued support of our SPCA Centre over the past few years has been invaluable, and we're very grateful to look forward to continuing this relationship. Today, we are seeking $3,000 each year for 3 years to help us cover the operational costs of providing essential animal welfare services in the community. This funding will enable us to continue growing our network of volunteers and foster carers and offer vital support to our community members. Together, we can continue to make a profound difference in the lives of both animals and people of the Wairarapa. Oh, Robin, if you go back to the first one.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yes, sorry.
If you go. The SPCA's core mission is to protect and promote the welfare of animals, to deliver professional animal welfare services throughout our team of animal welfare inspectors, centre staff, vets and vet nurses. You can go to the next one, Robin, thank you. Last year, the Masterton Centre took in over 870 animals. This includes a massive increase in puppies coming to the centre, and the SPCA finds itself struggling to cope with an increase in operating costs and a significant increase in animals being brought in. There is good news though. 628 animals were adopted into loving homes within the Wairarapa and surrounding areas. Next. Munchkin. So this little cutie has come from a property we've been assisting with for years. We've taken over 60 cats from this property, working with the owners to de-sex their animals and control the population. Munchkin came to us and has severe skeletal deformities, but is happy and pain-free. Munchkin may not have a long life, but she's definitely living her best life in a loving home. Next one, thank you. The SPCA not only helps companion animals, but we also work with livestock and horses. Fizz was brought in severely underweight. This once successful racehorse was in terrible condition. It was quite a slow journey to recovery, but Fizz is now in a loving home with other horses for company. And the next one, please, Robin. The SPCA provides several opportunities for South Wairarapa community to engage in the work that we do. The centre has over 30 volunteers ranging from school children helping parents caring for animals in foster homes, animal care students gaining valuable work experience, high school students, adults and retirees all committing to their regular shifts every week. Next one, please, Robin. The centre has over 60 foster families, and this is a huge increase from previous years. Fostering creates an environment where families can share their love of animals by helping to rescue and rehabilitate SPCA and animals in their homes. It is vital that we are here to protect the most vulnerable in society, especially in the face of the current cost of living crisis. The Masterton Centre is the only vet clinic in the Wairarapa offering low-cost de-sexing to those families in need. Over the last year, we have de-sexed 690 animals on site. De-sexing helps reduce the number of strays and unwanted animals, and this aligns with the Council's aim of managing natural resources wisely to support environmental sustainability and resistance. Together, we can create a safer, more compassionate environment for both animals and people, ensuring a harmonious coexistence and a healthier ecosystem. The SPCA is completely funded by public donations with very little support from the government. And the only reason that we are able to continue what we do is because of those people who support us. I would like to thank you again for your time. And do you have any questions?
Very much. Questions again?
Yes, I'm assuming you're the only SPCA in the whole of the Wairarapa.
Yes, we are.
So you're whole area. Fantastic, thank you.
Have you applied to other councils as well for?
Yes, we have applied to Masterton and Carterton.
Right. Have you been successful with those applications?
But with Masterton, we're still waiting to hear from Carterton.
And that's for a similar sort of amount?
Masterton, we asked for $8,000.
Thank you.
Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm all good, Chief. So speakers pretty much gone through everything.
The region to South Wairarapa.
Numbers from South Wairarapa last year, we took 100 animals in from that region. Yeah. So
This district.
yeah, and that doesn't include the animals that we've helped with de-sexing. That only includes the animals in here. Yes, you do. Yep, you've got one of our best fosterers actually lives in Martinborough.
Tempting.
It's dangerous.
Yes, yeah.
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 Well,
Right, okay. Other questions? Thank you.
oh,
for that.
just one.
Like if we-
You don't know roughly how much money you put back into the community as far as animals in the South Wairarapa?
No, I
Just
don't.
don't
Sorry,
keep
no.
it separate. So what? Cool, thanks.
Okay, thank you for that.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
And thank you.
Let us we
you.
go through
Very
the
much.
process. Thank you. Movie centre, or are we moving on to access Wairarapa?
Keep moving.
Access ready to Wairarapa?
So they're online.
And I think I'm on their way, so I'll get it. Welcome to the meeting. again, if you could have a quick answer, that would be great. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou, Marina and Michael, tēnei. We represent the only access broadcasting service for the Wairarapa, and we really want to ensure that we cover all of the Wairarapa. And because of the geographical difficulties of remoteness to South Wairarapa district, we want to ensure that all of those people are still fully represented and can access our services. So some time ago, we developed a portable recording service that Marina runs.
So with a mobile recording service, I usually travel around South Wairarapa and record at people's home. I have a portable gear, which provide us with a higher quality podcast. And with that, I edit all the programs and I send to Veronica, who works here at RFM as well with us, and we can schedule that and put it on air on time. And you can see the range of programs that we have in the South Wairarapa in our application. So we would like to extend this list.
We'd obviously like to collaborate with the council, not just ask you for money, but also use your contacts. Perhaps you can help us liaise with different groups, and in particular the Welcoming Communities Advisor.
Yes, so we have a good relationship with Artie Kajan from Masterton District Council, and we know that you guys have Joanna Baldwin, which is the Welcoming Communities Advisor, and through that we've got a few programs in here, and that is the Sri Lankan community and the Filipinos as well. They have a program with us, and we are also in developing a program with the Youth Council, the Masterton one, and that will be great if we can have that with the South Wairarapa as well.
So that a relationship with the council means that in Masterton, we get lots of advisories and news from them, so we promote their events or pass on anything to the community that's important. What we envisage in South Wairarapa is that you have a section of Marina's program, What's Up Down South, that is dedicated to ensuring that you can keep your communities well informed about things from a council perspective. We're also intent on developing our relationship with Tangata Whenua. Here we have the Rangitane and Ngāti Kahungunu ki Wairarapa do a program called Kahurangi. We want to develop relationships with marae down south, and we would very much like your liaison and perhaps some introductions to do that. All of this is very resource heavy, but we're dedicated to doing it because we feel the whole region has to be represented. So anything that you can do to help, not just in the financial sense, would be really welcome. So that's we'll leave it open to questions.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm really interested, and I'm afraid I don't know a lot of detail, but and if we had a disaster in this area, just wondering, you know, how resilient is your, I'm not using the right words here, but your signal production. I mean, can you, could you keep going, you know, without electricity and things like this, or?
To a degree. The things we've got to be aware that we have program makers who are not professional broadcasters. We can't expect them to stick around in an emergency, nor would we want them to. But it is possible to have advisories coming through to the station and basically taking over and presenting things. They'd be visually based. We've got a video link system that allows that to happen. And Masterton District Council used it a lot during the COVID lockdown. I mean, frankly, if we lost internet, then that wouldn't be possible. There are always things that that make it difficult. That's the nature of a natural disaster. But another thing that we'd like to do is say, have a number of messages that have been recorded that say, in the event of flood, in the event of fire, in the event of this, that, and the other, perhaps recorded by experts from your own council or civil defence. We have, for example, when we head towards Christmas, Veronica will activate the Christmas schedule That means when there aren't programs on, things that are relevant to Christmas will play. Likewise, we can have an emergency schedule, which means very frequently these advisories could play, and then we could tailor them to the particular emergency we find ourselves in.
Sorry, but is there a way you could protect those recordings if there's not electricity? Have you got a generator? Or?
We do have a place for the generator. We do have all the electrical connections for the generator. But in order to do that, we would need to apply for some money to get a new generator and set that all up. And we're in two minds as to whether that's appropriate. We do our best to be helpful in an emergency, but we don't want to create an expectation that we will be error-free and everything will be fine, because even if we've got electricity going, if internet is wiped out, then that connection is lost anyway.
Yeah.
Michael Burrito, this is conscious of time. Can I just clarify? So at the moment, Access Radio does reach in South Wairarapa. This is to replace or develop the equipment, and part of the sort of the carrot for us, or for the community that would provide the grant, is your plans for increased South Wairarapa content.
Yes, we haven't specifically asked for equipment. We're asking for assistance with the operation of that. We have the equipment. There are obviously maintenance costs associated with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
I understand that, sorry. I was reporting services, I was misinterpreting, so that's fine.
Yeah, but as far as increasing what we do down there, that is limitless depending on the organisations that might wish to collaborate with us.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that on today. That's very, very helpful. You have questions?
Sorry, just thanks, Bruce. Your case sort of jumped on my ship. I was going to ask some things. Have you actually had discussions with the council? You know, the council's at all about the emergency services use of your radio station in events of emergencies. That was I think it would be quite a good idea and quite a good asset for the whole Wairarapa district to have them available to them in time of need. You know.
Yes. We'd be very much interested in developing that. I have to say that what we do anyway, which is provide a service to a huge diverse range of communities, is our principal focus. We want to do that because we believe that increases social cohesion and in the end an inclusive society. That's what we're about.
Very good. Thanks, Michael. Maureen.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your time. It's great that you were able to zoom in. But can we move on to the next application, which is Presbyterian Support Central? Sorry, welcome to the meeting. Again, I've invited you to come down to we can at least see you, which is great. So it's wonderful. Thank you.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. I'm Carmen McKee. I'm the service manager with Family Works, which is part of Presbyterian Support Central, and I manage and support our offices that work across the lower part of the North Island. So we have 6 different services that we deliver, and I'm here today supporting Diana, who's with the Wairarapa office. Our main office is based in Masterton. We're a small organisation. Within Presbyterian Support, there is obviously a aged care service in Lyven, and then there's Family Works, which is the social work and counselling service. We managed to keep ourselves going through government grants and other grants from charitable organisations and donors, particularly through the churches and other community events often. And yeah, our application today is for 100 hours of counselling and social work services to deliver here in the South Wairarapa. And I'm going to hand over to Tiana to tell you a little bit about what a couple of examples of the work that we've been doing in the area.
So hi everyone, thank you for having us today. So yeah, I'm the team manager for Family Works Wairarapa. We have our office in Masterton, but we've been working in South Wairarapa for over 30 years. So you might have known us as Turret House and based in Featherston. So we get a lot of referrals, mainly from schools and also from the Whai Ora as well. So an example from Whai Ora was there was a farmhand who had depression that they were helping medically and wanted us to do some counselling. And so we did some counselling with him around his depression and anxiety as well. But we ended up working with the whole family because they wanted some family support around parenting. They had 2 young children. Dad was in foster care at one point, so he hadn't been parented himself and wasn't a confident dad. So we helped him with parenting too. And then there was some other social work that we did with them as well, where they didn't have enough furniture at home. The children were sleeping on the floor and they had piles and piles of clothes because they didn't have any drawers. So we helped them with some practical support, getting them beds and some drawers as well. We've also worked with children in the area. So when we're in South Wairarapa, we do our counselling and social support either in home or at the community centre. So we use their rooms there. And also in schools. So we look after children as well. We do safety programs with them. Those who've been through trauma or through family violence. And the schools are great. They'll let us use some private space so that we can see the children either individually or as a family group. We also do parenting as well. And most of the parenting support is done in home. So people can either self-refer, so we'll get a call or an email from people, or schools will refer, Whai Ora, the community centre. Yeah.
So the application for 100 hours is for a particular initiative, or is this just to help your ongoing ability to have people available as these references come into play?
Yeah, it's really to help with the ongoing. The referrals for the South Wairarapa has grown over the last sort of 12 months. And I was the one who wanted the 100 hours down here because of the volume that's coming through. And I just wanted to make sure that the community in South Wairarapa were looked after.
If you have the 100 hours, what would happen? There'd be no service. You wouldn't be able to provide service down here.
Where we can, we provide services under our other contracts, but there is counselling that doesn't come within the scope of those contracts. And so that's where we, the grants that we receive and the donations that we receive really help with being able to respond to the greater need. Government grants are often very specific to specific services.
For all the other gaps.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, brilliant. Yes, Kate.
Yeah, it's just interested in sort of the size of the organisation. I mean, how many salaried effective full-time staff do you have?
So across the whole region, which is the Lower North Island, we have about 50 staff, but in the Wairarapa, we have
For full-time?
or full-time. And do you have volunteers or?
Yes, we do. Yeah. So we have volunteer who are based in Masterton.
Yeah, and what sort of things do they do? Volunteers.
Oh, so some of them help with family support.
All right.
Yeah, and we also have students who come in who are trying to qualify to be counsellors as well.
Oh, okay. Like an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. That's really helpful. It gives an personal touch to an application. So thank you.
Nice.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate that. Right, so Mary, you have St Mary's School.
Is Corey Kennedy here?
Hey,
Kia ora, Corey.
Mary, how are you?
Well, good, how are you?
Good to have you. Very, see, we're trying to move, we have to try and move through at reasonable speed, so.
No problem,
I'll let you.
I can go fast. Kia ora, my name's Corey Kennedy from St Mary's School. I'm representing all the schools in the South Wairarapa, 13 schools under the Kahui Ako. One of my roles is learning partnerships, so creating opportunities for students and working on their transition from students going from one school to another school. So I'm looking at early childhood to primary to college, and then college to beyond after that. This is for the Moving On conference. So this is a big day for all the year 8s in the South Wairarapa to go to Kuranui College for the day. To 1, meet each other, 2, try new things, and 3, build relationships with people. We're trying to get as many community people in. We're trying to get the fire service in. We're trying to get some sports group in, some cafe shops to run cooking seminars and stuff for these students to do. But yeah, we'll just like some funding for that, just because.
Have you had a similar day before?
Yep. So this happens. This happens every year.
Yep.
So, and normally we charge $10 per school, but that's not $10 per child, but that's not. Our costs are dwindling, and when you think of
Your income.
all the locations, so everyone's got to try and get to the conference, and then you go, $450 on a bus.
Yeah.
That wipes out that.
Yeah. Did you got a sense, how do you assess it's successful?
From the kids to see, because this could be one of the only opportunities that they've actually met people from a different school. But if you're not the sporty kid going to the sports days, where again we have to fund all those buses as well, when do you ever get to meet someone that's in a common interest to you? And if we want people to be connected in the community,
When is this conference, Corey?
I'll be on the 2nd of December, Monday.
Close.
That's quite close. So.
And could I ask how do you get, people from across the whole area participating in it?
So this is also working with REAP
Right.
as well. So,
Yes, yeah.
so Trudy and I are contacting different places and businesses like the dance company and a theatre company to come in as well. So part of the grant is to actually pay for some of these people after we first go, can you volunteer your time to do that?
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, Corey. Yeah, both of my kids have gone through this process, so they really enjoyed it, and I believe it's quite successful because Kuranui gets such a large intake from it.
Yeah.
And it is good to keep as many kids at the South Wairarapa and Kuranui College as we possibly can, and that's a really good start to it. So roughly how many kids each year are going, do you know?
This year there'll be 225 kids in the South Wairarapa going to this conference.
Yeah. Last year Kuranui took 160 something.
Yeah.
So
it's getting bigger and bigger each year. So we need more workshop option. Otherwise, the groups become too big.
A specific amount as well, 1590, is it?
Yeah,
Specifically for some,
just for some specific people to get in.
is it? You say, okay, you identified who they are. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to come here and ask for
No.
this because I've got lots of other grants to try and apply for.
Yeah, I was interested it wasn't rounded up. That was very honest of you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if I'm correct, some of the senior students at the college help on the day, don't they?
Some of them, I know some of them would have left because they would have finished the year, and I know a good majority of them would be on activities week, so they'll be doing their own camps and their own trips, which is why we're having to rely on more people from the community. So that's what.
Oh, good on you, mate.
Yeah.
But I'm totally on board with you. I hate seeing people on the other side of the road catching a bus.
Yeah, well, yeah, and when I was at college, there was probably 5 people from Greytown went to Marston schools. Nowadays you go up there, there's just queues and queues and waiting for the bus and through Carlton and that.
Definitely.
Yeah, it just seems ridiculous, but anyway.
Rory, it's a fast race through this, so look, thank you for that.
No, thank you.
Appreciate your personalising the application, so that's really helpful, thank you, and wish you well the rest of the day.
Cool. Cheers, thank you.
Which is good. Keep your notes taken, we'll have to come back and make important these later on, so imperative to keep doing that as we go through.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Chair, sorry, could we skip to Maycroft? May has to go.
oh, okay, sorry, so that's the Social Crust Limited. Hey, welcome down to the meeting, great, thank you. So this is number, oh, I can't search it, sorry, I can't, the whole number. You're welcome to speak.
Well, kia ora. I'm Maycroft and I'm here from the Social Crust. The Social Crust has 4 components to it: the Martinborough Food Bank, the Greytown Food Bank, the Prices on Princess Op Shop, and the Rescue, which we call Second Bite. And so we're applying for $15,000 as part of operating expenses, things like paper bags, all that sort of thing, because it's people like to give for food, but it's those other support things we find it difficult to get funding for. And I guess in a way, those people who are the most vulnerable and who need food support is the responsibility of the community at large as well. And so last year we were successful in we were successful in getting the $15,000 who was that. And actually, although expenses have gone up, because we had the op shop, and the op shop has made a big difference to us as far as supporting us financially. And in fact, I don't think we could have continued the model that we operate without that support from the op shop. So it just happened at a very good time that we started that. And you'd be amazed what people have in their garages. Yes. Anyway, so that's I'm imagining that you know all about the food bank. For I notice you asking the other people about how do you measure success. Well, for us, success is measured by the numbers going down, not up. But unfortunately, times are tough. And today is the food bank day, and we are doing 66 parcels a day. A third of those are for Greytown. And I think that the problems are increasing rents. People have, if you shift, you have to move house from one place to another. The costs related to that are just meaning that it's just a step too far, and some people are coming onto the food bank just for a few weeks to get themselves back on stream again. So that's really, we work very closely with P&K and some places in Greytown as well. Not so much the supermarket, it's hard to get the supermarket chain to come on board, but P&K here, everything that is near its best before date comes to the food bank. And they're very, very generous. And so we just, whatever we get, we're able to freeze it, we do straight away. And so that's enormous support. So it's all about good community, really. And we're enjoying working together as Greytown and Martinborough. It's actually, we think people, from the head, they come to Martinborough, we think we're really nice people, and it works. And it's working really well, actually, the working together. So that's really what I've come to put myself in front of you and say thank you for your support.
They will have some questions.
Good. Can I just ask sorry, rushing all the time. Yeah, we all know tremendous things that you're doing with this organisation, but I just wonder, is there a trend happening here which seems to be happening around the place, and that you're getting more incomed people needing the support, not just
most everybody works.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean they work full time. We would have very few people who are not employed somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think here in this area, first of all, it's a low low paid
Yeah, yeah.
employment.
Seasonal work.
But also, not every, if you're in hospitality, you're not necessarily got a full-time job. You are working when you need it. And so I think we find that, yeah. So you're right, it is people who are already working.
Yeah.
I think we talked last year as well, mate, about budgeting advice and that kind of thing, like
Yeah.
that's happening, that.
Well, what's been good is Heartlands have now opened here.
Yeah.
And on a Wednesday, which is today, Charlotte from Heartlands, she comes to the food bank. And we sent a note out to say she would be there. And so she's just there and people can approach her. And she's starting to get quite a few people coming because of that. But, you know, it's all about trust.
Yep.
People are not going to just show up there. Yeah. And, you know, just in case someone might find out something that they don't want to do, sort of thing. So she comes to us and that seems to work really well. And she'll go over to Greytown too, because the boxes from here, the food boxes, are taken over to Greytown for pickup. And so once she gets underway a bit more, she will then go over there with the boxes. And when people come in there, she'll be there. So it's kind of like the base of the Heartlands. Yeah.
6 boxes today.
Yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
2 new families from Greytown today, and both to do with shifting.
Yeah, good time for one question.
Yes, sorry.
Bruce, thanks for coming, May. I actually got a text from my wife because I got a box full of stuff and I left it at home today, so I've been told off already, so it'll come next week for your shop. 56, I'm pretty sure when you come last year it was about 50, so that's about a 30% increase in the year, so
yeah,
it's not a great sign for the local communities. Yeah, love the work you do, it's all I've got to say. Yeah.
I think when I came last year, we probably only just bringing Greytown on board. Well, it's now, we think the last couple of months, in fact, I've just had an email from someone today asking about the stats. We think that we're hoping that somewhere between 65 and 70 boxes, it's been consistently there for a few months, and we wonder whether we've hit how much it's going, how many we're going.
So,
could be more, but we're hoping that maybe that's going to be the ceiling for it, because people come and go, but it seems to be consistently around that number for the last few months.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thanks, mate.
Can I just check? What's your organisation?
We are, nobody is paid, we're all volunteers.
Right, okay.
Great, eh?
So I'm speaking to the accountant, so you know, about needing to provide paper bags, and you focus on that is entirely because it's going straight to facilitate feeding food or support.
Yes, everything. There's nobody paid. We did employ somebody.
It's not the paying somebody, it's supporting, but I just want to.
But we did employ someone for a few months, and they put together all the procedure things for us, because, you know, all the health and safety, all that stuff. But everybody else, including the treasurer. So we have lots of people just giving their time free for it. So it's good. We have about 50 volunteers altogether.
That's great.
Thank you, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for your time. So
For listening
very much
to
to
me.
understand what's going on.
Okay, thanks very much.
Okay, if we go to Booktown, please, which I think is Mary. Is that right, Mary?
Yep.
Welcome along.
Back up the other way, wasn't it? We've gone past it before.
Hey, Mary.
Hello, Mary. Hello, Robin.
Hi, Mary. How are you? Welcome to the meeting. We are racing through, so
Okay.
still 3 minutes or so of
Okay.
background to Booktown, or do the application, and then we'll have a couple of questions.
So can I assume that everyone's read the application? So maybe if I can cut back so that leave you time for questions. So I'm Mary Biggs and I'm the operations manager from Featherston Booktown. I'd really like to start by saying a big thank you to the council for their support over the last 3 years for the Young Readers program. It sends such a great sign to the community and to people looking into the South Wairarapa that the council supports this mahi. It's unique in the New Zealand literary space that our children can have access to amazing writers and literary events for free. There are no barriers to them learning, and that's a
huge good story for the council to be behind. We've asked for 30,420 for this application to help us put this Young Readers program together. We recognise that the funds that we've applied for go towards the 3 outcomes of social, cultural and economic well-being. In the application, it was quite thorough, the different areas, so I might skip what they are now. I just would like to finish on this quote. Each year after every Young Readers program, we do extensive surveying, and we survey the teachers, the writers, the students, and so on. But this is a quote from the teachers' survey this year. It was an anonymous teacher. This festival was a real highlight for Tamariki. The workshops were engaging, fun, and our learners were so excited to be working with adults who are so talented at what they do. These opportunities excite and enrich their experiences, and I've noticed more students reading at break times now by choice and motivated by what they have learned. Thank you to everyone who supports this event. We are so very lucky. I think the key thing about the Young Readers program is that we are working really, really hard to engage young people, particularly boys, Maori and Pasifika students, to read for pleasure, because we understand by doing that we're creating much better citizens of the future. So does anyone have any questions? Is this Kay?
You go
Yes,
first.
no.
No.
You go first.
Okay. Arguing. Oh, thank you very much, Mary. Yeah, I know, just wonderful events, but just on the youth Young Readers program, with it, I didn't quite understand. Do you have programs at the event and the people pay for it, or do you go to the schools with it?
The Young Readers program is entirely free.
Yes.
In 2025, which is our 10th anniversary, by the way, Featherston Booktown, we're going to split the Young Readers program away from the Karakatia Festival, which happens the second week in May. We're going to have 3 or 4 events for secondary students in the days leading up to the Karakatia Festival.
Right.
We'll have events in the Karakatia Festival for emerging readers, so aged 3 to 12.
Right.
That's for the visitors that are coming into the area,
Right.
basically. And then the new thing that we're going to do in 2025 is based on a program we did with Ministry for Culture and Heritage funding. It's taking writers into the rural schools. So the kids learn best when they're surrounded by their friends, all those sorts of things. So that's the difference. There are 3 different phases.
And so all of those events are free for the children?
All of the events are for free. And that's what's so unique in the New Zealand literary scene, because no other festivals do that.
Mm-hmm. But you'll be paying for the presenters, would you?
Yes, yeah, but we're applying for funding so that we can keep the events for schools and students for free.
But that's what the money would be used for, paying for the presenters and.
Yeah, to put on that program. Yeah. Okay. We get 50% usually from the Wairarapa and Wellington regions to keep the costs down, and then the rest are writers from throughout New Zealand. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have to fly them in, accommodate them, get them rental cars.
Yes.
It's actually quite expensive to get them to.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Mary. Last year it was 25K for the same program.
Yeah.
Is that right? It's gone up by another $5,000 for this year.
Yeah.
How did last year? I mean, it seems like a lot of money to run a program for young readers, and the only measurable is we had a great time and a teacher really enjoyed it. I mean, how do we measure the success of this? It's a lot of money.
Yes, it is. It is a lot of money. it's, you know, to bring a writer to Featherston costs about $1,000 by the time you've paid for their airfare, accommodation and so on. There will be about 20 odd writers, not 20 odd writers, 20 writers. And yeah, it costs money to do the admin behind it, and we pay for a event manager to run it, which is one of the reasons why we're splitting 20 odd events
Right.
before the Karakatea Festival.
I was going to go to that.
It only goes to the young readers. We've got, you know, very different budgets and things that we run.
Yeah, but you have said you have expanded the number of, it's grown in terms of its scope.
Yes, it has. It has.
Bigger than last year.
Yeah. But it's, you know, the secondary schools are Wairarapa wide. So all the kids, you know, come to the events. And the rural outreach program will just be for primary and preschools in the South Wairarapa.
Sure.
So,
yeah. But could I just ask, the presenters you use, the writers and things, presumably you could use them for other programs too?
Yes.
That you can charge tickets for, so that would help defray.
But for young people, we aim to keep the events for young people free.
Yes.
So if we've brought in Gavin Bishop for the Young Readers Program and he does an emerging readers event at the Karakatea Festival, that event will be for free. But if he's on a panel for grown-ups, that event is ticketed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that can subsidise it a bit.
Thank
you.
What do you got, question?
Yeah, thanks. You've answered a couple of 25 grams, what I thought was last year, quite brought up. Things you're spending the money on. The one thing is you're bringing kids from schools and Masterton colleges. That if the Carterton and Masterton councils, have you asked for funding from them as well? Or?
Not yet. But I do intend to, yeah. We have in the past and have been successful with Masterton. Yeah.
You don't know roughly what you were asking them for? Or?
They have a creative communities fund, so it's usually around $2,000 worth. They don't have a big fund.
That's cool. No, thank you very much. Thanks,
and the other thing is, the program gets set once we know what funding we've got. So we cut our cloth to fit what money we have in. So,
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Our time is up. So, Mary, we've got to go to sense and the reason why.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
Welcome to
So next we actually have 2 short videos from Charlotte Harding because she's currently overseas.
Oh, okay, right. So this is the table tennis tables and the mural.
Excuse me while I have this one. This is for the table tennis.
Table tennis table.
Yeah.
Concrete.
Charlotte doing totals and the
I'm gonna be
mural walking one.
The two things. Yeah.
Apologies.
It's frozen.
Yes. Have another try.
Where's your mic?
I'm not sharing the right screen.
Just turn up the
So stop sharing and we'll just play the video. Yeah.
You might have to do that. Yeah.
Do we, yeah, like that.
I can play it directly from my computer. People want to listen.
Oh, you're like,
Gonna. Make sure you've got.
No, what my concern is, program is,
Everything's
like I was saying, 30 pages.
I don't know why it's got, getting feedback.
But it's how to fix.
that's weird.
What's your program? Yeah? Yeah, I'm really into it.
Yeah, I'm not a technologist, but it's like, what's doing the feedback?
right, let's, I think you need TCI guys. You can,
Can you put them on a USB and maybe I'll be able to do it down to.
Oh, okay.
do we have another person?
So the people for our next set haven't arrived yet. They're not till 2.
Oh, okay, radio.
9 minutes.
Radio, so I wonder if we can just make use of our time. We're just waiting a couple of minutes. We obviously have a substantial challenge. Send our meeting to some. Are there any comments folks would like to make at this stage?
Are we live? Where are we at with?
Do we go into?
Yes, I think we go. And
Okay, radio.
What sort of comments you talk
Are
about?
there any, do you have any questions then about, we yet to have, I don't know whether the community centre are going to come or the Simpsons Orchestra. We've got, well, obviously issues with Charlotte. Are there any questions that you want to ask around those ones while we're here?
questions around what
So the Featherston, we haven't, it's first one, the Featherston Community Centre, we haven't.
do you want to know our opinions on it? Or?
Do you have question? No. Did you?
No, there wasn't this.
In light of the application, with any questions?
No questions.
No.
Question?
Same with the Symphony Orchestra and same with Charlotte. Can I ask, was Charlotte, I noticed she says a community activator. Is she associated with any particular group or organisation?
No, not as far as I'm aware. Charlotte does a lot of,
Charlotte's an individual that's doing these things in the community.
she's done a large number of things, particularly in the Martinborough community. So the mural work is, I think she's in the 3rd year of that.
And that's been quite successful, hasn't it?
I don't live here, I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, correct. It's just it's an individual. And I'm interested to know how that works. It was a few people, that's fine.
I had heard it was quite impressive.
Okay. Well, if we are waiting,
She just needs to pull it onto the USB. And then I'll be able to.
Oh, okay.
Directly.
right.
Well, just to pop out.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Bruce's timetable.
Sorry?
What for your timetable, hasn't
Oh, we've still got 2 o'clock, but I just need to keep it moving.
it? Yeah.
No written parameters.
Oh, that's all very bad.
We're inside comfortable zone.
Yeah, we're still.
Yes, we do.
So what? I think it's the sound has recorded and come through.
John Robbins and China.
And also,
Yeah, whatever it is, it always never works. So.
yep, yeah, we've had no other problems with it.
Well, there's not me out there trying to figure it out. So
What we could.
We don't have anybody.
Oh, then.
No, they-
Oh, sorry.
There's no coming out.
All right, okay. Well, if we've seen that the applications are reasonably straightforward. And clear. Okay, folk, I wonder if we could just reconvene, please. So it's gone 2 o'clock. Ellie? Do we have any other presenters at the stage?
No, we don't. So, through your chair, no, I don't know. We'll confirm they were coming.
Pardon?
Or they've confirmed they were coming, that they were
Yeah.
going to be here.
Yeah.
We've had one cancellation online who's not able to attend now, but that's our only person who's here today that they can't come.
Right, so at the moment, we are anticipating the Country Village Heaven Trust, Featherston Owned Charitable Trust, Divine River New Zealand Trust.
Yep.
In the next half hour.
Yes,
Brilliant. Okay, cool.
I've expected them to be here already.
Yeah. Oh, Margaret, Jen.
So I said last year on the phone straight.
Many people, so that sounds good.
Sorry? Yeah, yeah.
I was just
Yeah,
looking
you
at
asked if money, you asked if money was good for that. And the
Hi
hospital.
there, how are you?
I'm just here and hi.
Hello.
How's it going? Hello.
Having been a production line here, just trying to hear the various presentations, and we've ended our time, so we're now back in time. I'm sorry, I need to be rude. I'm Bruce Robertson. I'm the chair of the meeting.
Bruce, I'm Rach.
From
Country Village Heaven.
okay. Oh, brilliant. Okay. Well, Rachel, what we're doing is we're inviting you to talk for about 3 minutes to your application, and then I'll open it up. I think, Martin, it's important to recognise as the one that you've declared a membership, so we've invited Martin to participate in the discussion. It'll be Kay, myself, and Woody here listening, but yeah, questions. So
Yeah, okay, sure.
I invite you to give us a sense of what you're asking.
Yeah, sure. So I'll take the application as read. Essentially, what we've applied for is specifically around the youth program for a Midwinter Festival on Greytown, Festival of Christmas. And really it's around providing some free activities specifically for youth in South Wairarapa, two, I guess, innovative free access activities. I guess, looking at the criteria, my understanding is one of the key things we're looking for is something that provides transformational social change. This festival has certainly done that. It's just completed 5 years. What it's been able to provide are some activities that are free for our youth,
no matter where they live within South Wairarapa, no matter what their economic situation, to be able to come and take part in some activities which bring people together with their friends and family to create some special memories. It gets the youth off gaming, they're off their devices, no trouble, but across 5 weeks to be able to provide some activities that they could otherwise not be able to, I guess, have the opportunity to do. I guess the key piece around this is, particularly when we're seeing what's happened this year with the opening and closing weekends of the festival, unprecedented numbers at a time when the community is going through a pretty tough time economically. We've never seen numbers like it, and people are coming to experience something that brings everyone out together to do something pretty special. As I say, that is free, that they're connected, and there's no cost. And you look at the school holidays now, there's not really anything for teenagers to be able to do locally. Not anything, but it's, they're looking for things to do. And these are two specific activities that give them things that they can be part of, experiences they can share with their friends. In the middle of winter when it's dark and it's cold and there's not really a hell of a lot going on, to be honest. So I guess those are the kind of key parts. They're equitable. It's, it provides some child-friendly spaces. And it's accessible to people right throughout the region.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry, question.
Well, let me go first. I always go first.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Bruce. So the glow in the dark golf, is that one of the main things you're bringing in for this funding?
Yeah, well, so there are two pieces to it. So the two are the snowfall and music with interactive animations, which is outside, the town hall / library in Raytown. So it's being able to, enhance that, provide those activities for free. Obviously, there's a cost to build the animations, do the screens, to get the snow machines, to get the snow liquid. So there's that part there. And then the other part, which is new, is the glow in the dark golf. And I guess the thing with that is there's a number of ways that youth can be involved. They can get involved with helping build it. So there's that sense of pride. It's an activity that they can do with their friends. We can provide that as an activity that is free for South Wairarapa, teenagers and teenagers essentially, but also, kids with their parents or, whānau. But those, I guess, those two activities that are specific that are really targeting youth. That's what the application is for. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, thanks, Rachel. So I with the animations, I sort of saw that in the snow and things, that all look great. But how's that an event for the youth? I don't quite understand, because it's just the pictures going all over the place, looking really pretty and things.
No, so the animations that we started with this year, we'll be looking to build on. So the mascots we had this year were penguins. So they were animations of penguins in the windows at the town hall, and kids could go onto a phone, onto the website, and press a button and get them to dance.
All right.
Kids absolutely loved it. So that's part of the interactive part where it's bringing technology in.
Right.
It's also the music, which creates that atmosphere. Kids are dancing. There's the snow.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you've been, but
little kids loving it. Yeah.
Yeah, little kids, teenagers. I've got teenagers. Heaven forbid. That's probably a topic for another day, but they love it, and it's really something that kids of all ages can do. Teenagers can go and hang out with their friends.
Yeah,
it's cool to do with your mates. And younger children can do with with older siblings or.
Okay, and then the other thing I was wondering about, because I went to another, it was a fantastic event, but here in Martinborough, and after I'd been to it, so talked around, and a lot of people didn't seem to know about it. The communication is really tricky here. But so how do you communicate to the youth outside Raytown?
It's interesting because we've surveyed, and a significant portion of our attendees come from South Wairarapa, and Martinborough's a key part, Featherston's a key part. The way to engage with the youth directly is through TikTok and Instagram, and
so do you do that? Do you?
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
I actually have my 14-year-old son helping with that.
Yeah,
the occasional burger.
yes, as
We do what we can, big borrow and, get people to help where they can, but that's where it's at. And I think that's a key thing with this festival is it's such an Instagrammable event.
yeah.
That's where it goes ballistic and it continues to build because people can, see that and the kids love that.
But you have got survey results that show that the use of the other towns are quite well represented.
Yes. Yep, we absolutely do. And I can provide those. I can provide the survey results if,
Quite interesting.
yeah. And you look around, a lot of the kids close, because I, live here and my kids were brought up here, but it's something they talk about and it really has transformed socially what our youth can do in our region over winter at a time that is normally there's nothing happening. And I think the other part of it is that longevity. It's 5 weeks. How many events are there for kids that can go on for 5 weeks for free? So it's, and it's just become so much more than what initially, it was about trying to increase visitation and spend post-COVID. And it's just morphed into something completely different because it's about what we can provide socially for people in our entire region free at a time when times are actually tough, which has made it even more popular.
Thank you, Rachel. That's been very helpful. I need to move on, but I appreciate you.
No problem.
And it's tremendous. Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity to chat to it. Greatly appreciated.
5 weeks in the depth of winter is dark indeed, isn't it?
Oh my God, it's a killer. But yeah, it's great for me. But no, it's great. It's, yeah, no, it is.
Problem.
That is pretty cool. But thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Who's next?
It's
Lisa.
Rachel and Lisa are both here.
Oh, so Rachel's here from Rachel Pugh.
No, Featherston's Own Charitable Trust is here. Yep, so Rachel from Featherston's Own Charitable Trust.
I think you can see it's a bit of a race. So
That's all right.
3 minutes or so just on why you're applying, and we'll ask some questions after that. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. I haven't done one of these before, so let me know if I'll try.
Sorry,
Wait,
yeah.
first one.
Sorry, we don't know where you're.
Back to the first one on our list. what?
You're sorry, your feathers.
Featherston Own Community Trust, so specifically food bank. And so
Oh, sorry, okay, so
It's really friendly, so don't worry.
Two was some.
Yes, Rachel.
Cool. So as you see, we've applied for basically funding for 1/4 of a salary for our manager of the food bank. Her name is Elaine. Some of you may know her. In general terms, I understand these grant streams are for innovative and creative projects and things that may become transformative, and completely understand that. It's pretty hard to get grants for salaries. It's pretty hard to get somebody just give you money for food. Then there are a number of reasons around that. Some people prefer to go along the train of give a man a fish. They want to give them the fishing rod, but actually a lot of people don't have the resources for that. So sometimes you just have to give them some food. It's really that simple. So at the beginning of this year, we had a bit of a hui and planned what we wanted for Featherston, our vision for the future in terms of food sovereignty, food resilience. And there were wonderful, amazing projects put forward, like community farms, hydroponics, collective gardening, connected buying power, teaching local skills for butchery. There were a great number of those things. But right now, all we need to do is keep the lights on, unfortunately. The need for food has gone through the roof. The reasons for that are probably very well known to you. So this year, we're probably looking at 1,400 food parcels going out. The demographics of people coming to the food bank have extended. There are seniors, there are young people. We even had somebody who worked for Wings come. So And those people, when they don't come alone. They don't come just with hunger. Other things lie behind that. So we do have a dream for the food bank, and that hinges very much on having someone amazing like Elaine, making those connections with local resources, local networks, and dreaming aloud for the future to ignite that fire in other people to see what can happen a bit further down the line. When somebody comes through the food bank door, what they have in front of them is it's broken down all space. That's all we have, but it has good people. Often people coming angry, in tears, whakama, and there's no other space to take them to. Elaine manages all these things with a plum. We have reached out to so many people for just the basics of the food and the salary. We don't tend to get too far on those things. So people will give us stuff. Fonterra have given us a double filler. Electric Space have given us a freezer. And all those things are wonderful. But it's Elaine who makes these connections that make the difference. So even this week, for example, she's worked with the pest management people who are now going to give her 30 kgs of venison mince a week. And thanks to Fonterra's fridge, we've got something to put it in, which is great. She's working with growers who are growing things that supermarkets don't want and reusing that. So keeping things out of the food waste system, keeping things out of addressing pest management. And that's just this week, and that's thanks to Elaine. So whilst we do want to do nice shiny projects for the future, what we've got right now is the need to keep the lights on, the need to keep Elaine because she knows.
Thank you. That's very succinct.
Oh, no, all answer, thank you, Rachel.
What happens if Elaine goes?
Well, the connections go. And I'm not saying Elaine will go because her heart is there. She does a lot of hours above and beyond what she's supposed to do. But the everything ties into everything else. The income that we have to spend on food is getting lower because people are buying less things at the op shop. People are donating less. And so more money is going on the resources, but then that's going to make it tight around Elaine's salary as well.
Okay. And my other question, sorry, Bruce, is how do you work in with Social Crust?
Social Crust?
Yeah, the Martinborough and Greytown Food Bank people.
Oh, yes. So Elaine's connected to the food bank here, Carterton, and to some extent the Masterton one as well. She would have been here too. She will give you a lot more detail on that. She could talk for Africa on those things. But it's the one day, that is the one day she can look at in 5 months.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.
Yeah. She networks, shares. If she gets wind of something, she'll take things to people as well. She'll share with the other food banks. And yeah, all of
if you get too much something, you'll share it around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've had an offer of a lot of broccoli. Right. You know, that sort of thing. And they back in their own car, using their own laptop. They just do those things. They are amazing.
No, it's pretty much covered. Thanks, Bruce. Yes, awesome. Rachel, thanks.
That's it. Without wanting to discuss Elaine's details, you said 5,000 for a quarter of. She must be part-time.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody gets a living wage.
Pardon?
Living wage.
Yes, and I suspect she gives a lot more than.
She does a lot.
Yeah. Rachel, thank you for that. I appreciate you being here. I hope you don't too rush, but I do appreciate it being here. It's great.
Nice to meet you all.
Rachel, thanks for what you're doing for the community.
So through you, Chair, number 15, Divine River New Zealand Trust, Lisa is here. And then after Lisa, the Wairarapa Youth Orchestra have come online early. Wairarapa Youth Orchestra has come online early.
Oh, okay. Right. Hello, Lisa. How are you?
Hi.
Hey. This is Lisa as well. We love Lisa's. I think it's the way it goes.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. You can see that well, you may not see, we have to keep ourselves.
Yeah.
So to do 3 minutes, then I'll vote.
So I founded your kia ora koutou, ko Lisa Verotoku. Thank you for your time today. We have applied to this fund for ongoing workshops that we run here in South Wairarapa. The presentation I've prepared, I won't go through it in detail because we're for 3 minutes. But basically this is kind of giving you a why, what and how and the outcomes and the impacts we hope to have in various communities we work in. We run workshops across all the towns of the South Wairarapa, and we've built a good partnership with Wairarapa Library Service, and we also we actually have a workshop on here today at the library, and we also work in partnership with Thunderpants and do our sustainable workshops there, or groups of volunteers together every other Saturday morning, so in a period pad. So kind of our key, our mission is to nurture sustainable personal care choices, but actually empower communities to develop these skills for themselves from age 5 to as old as someone who can still use a sewing machine or come to the workshops. We also run workshops in community hubs as well. So if I'm going to run a workshop at Greytown Scouts in a couple of weeks as well. So local community organisations, groups work with us, and the idea is that we can pass on this knowledge and skills, bring people together around this kaupapa so they can actually take these skills and provide these products for themselves, which supports supports environmental and sustainable goals that we have, and I think are important for the earth and important for communities. But it also brings people together around a common purpose and gives them skills. Yeah.
You, Lisa, appreciate that and appreciate you possibly cutting yourself short.
Yeah. I won't run through it.
Further questions for Lisa?
Can I just ask, you're all volunteers?
No, so some of our work facilitators are paid as part of these, because a lot of our Saturday people who are the volunteers who make the eco pads. They're all volunteers, but a number of the workshops are run by paid and volunteers, because we found that that's what's built momentum around this kaupapa, is actually having the regular events, and with volunteers, you can't always keep that regularity up.
The work too much.
Yeah, exactly. So especially, I mean, I think that volunteers tend to sort of pop in and out. So our workshops on a Saturday that are every fortnight in the South Wairarapa, and we're starting to run them again in the Masterton for the other fortnight. You get different, you might have a group of sort of 15 to 20 that are involved in that, but they don't all come every fortnight. So you need to, with regards to those community workshops that are passing on those key skills and foundational knowledge, you need the person who's got that to be able to actually run those workshops effectively.
You all kind of contract part-time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One of the things we're looking to do is work with Kiranui College to develop some rangatahi facilitators, so they can come out and shadow a workshop facilitator, and then potentially look at a collaboration with some local primary schools. So those youth facilitators could go in through some of the options they do at Kiranui College. The philosophy, for example, there's electives within the philosophy course at Kiranui where students go out and run workshops as part of that actual course, and they'll get credits for it. So there's sort of a reciprocity to doing that for the school, and the individuals are doing those kind of electives because that's their kaupapa. So their kaupapa is aligned with what we're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry for you, Chair. An example, you talked about, you say eco pads?
Eco period pads.
Yeah. And what are the other sort of?
So we make about 14 different products now. So we make
you have to go through all 14, just give me.
Thank you. Kawakawa balm, lip balms, candles, bath salts, body scrubs, natural deodorant. So that participants come, it's free workshops. So inclusivity is a huge part of that. So it's free access to these products. They're all made with natural ingredients, which obviously aligns with our sustainability kaupapa, and they get the materials. I actually picked up some of those materials are donated, some of them we purchase with the funds we receive. But for example, we buy some things through Arthur Homes, and I was down there on, what day are we, Tuesday, and they donated a lot of sort of broken packs. You know, like they get their glass in sort of 30 or 40 items, and if one item gets smashed, they have to dispose of the whole box. So they save those and then they donate them to us. So and pass that on to.
Okay. Excellent.
Also, if I could quickly ask, I'm kind of jumping in. So I see you've got boys in the photos here. So you get right about what percentage of boys and girls?
I would say we're definitely female biased in facing through the ones that come to the workshops. I think once we go back into schools, we've had a bit of a pause on schools because schools have gone through, you know, with post-COVID and all the curriculum changes that have been coming through. Schools have not been as open to having curriculum time activities. So once we go back into schools, I think we'll have more boys involved again.
So can I just quickly ask, because I know I'm taking too much time, but just about what percentage of the be the eco pads?
So eco pads, off the top of my head, I think the performance report I've just done, last year we made around 1,200 eco products, and half of those were eco period pads and half were other products.
What about proportion? What proportion of that would be activities?
Of our activities?
Your main.
I would say it's probably 20% of our activity at the moment, but 50% of our products that are made.
Yeah, okay.
Because those are made by groups of 6 or 7 volunteers who sew. It's time when we make eco period pads and we make the bags that they go into. Yeah. Whereas the workshops where they're making a balm or a lip balm or a candle or a spray, it's an individual learning that skill. So they're a different model and a different output for us.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. It's been lovely to have your presentation.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
No.
Lisa, so Robin, who's next?
Lisa on the screen.
Lisa's on the screen. So, Lisa, Ruth Robinson here. Can you hear me, Lisa?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Bruce. Kia ora.
Lisa, I just want to because we're just jumping ahead. We're dealing with hearing from Lisa. You said the Wairarapa Youth Orchestra.
Oh, you
Is that right? Wairarapa Youth Orchestra?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, not quite name I have, but that's absolutely superb. Lisa, we're going. So 3 minutes and so on. Your application.
No, Youth Orchestra.
Okay.
Oh, there we are. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Can we just have some quietness so we can? Yeah, Lisa, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Kia ora koutou. Ko Lisa Rossiter tōku ingoa. So I'm the chair of the Wairarapa Youth Orchestra. So the Wairarapa Youth Orchestra is an organisation that your council has kindly supported in the past, and we are as it says on the packet, really, the orchestra in our region for young people. So we have students in the orchestra from 6 years through to 17, 18 years, playing a range of different instruments. It's an entirely inclusive, free organisation, and we encourage participation rather than musical perfection. So I'm sure some of you probably have heard of us or been to our concerts. The idea is to provide that really safe space where students can belong to a musical community. They can benefit from learning new skills, learning new etiquette around being part of an orchestra, part of a community. They can get the benefits of performing and learning about those the skills involved in performing. And as part of running the orchestra, it costs us about $15,000 per term to run the orchestra. We do, as I said, keep it free for students. That's a really important aspect of the founder's vision. The orchestra was founded by Andrew Atkins and Caitlin Morris, and their vision was always that the orchestra should be free for students. So our costs then come from the fact that we pay our tutors a very modest fee per rehearsal. We rehearse every Monday afternoon at the Kuranui College during term time, and we do pay the instructors to accompany our students. It's kind of part of the important ethos of the orchestra. So there are costs involved in providing the musical tuition for the students. There's also costs involved in administering the orchestra in terms of the fact that we employ an administrator for 10 hours per week. And what we're seeking from you today is a contribution towards our administrative costs for term 1 so that we can keep the orchestra going. This time last year, we were very fortunate. We received a Creative New Zealand grant to run the orchestra for 2023. It would have been then, wouldn't it? And we're not in that position looking ahead to 2025 at the moment. We will be seeking support from them later on when their next funding round opens up. But just for the moment, we're looking at term 1 and needing to look to much more local sources of funding to keep the orchestra run. The students also do a lot of fundraising. That's part of the ethos as well, that they must contribute to different fundraising events. So we have, for example, a Christmas concert coming up at the end of November where they will be performing their Christmas items for a Koha donation, and that donation, for example, those will all count towards running the orchestra next term. So we're really just getting ourselves organised, looking ahead to next year, and in the absence of that Creative New Zealand funding just for a term or two, we're looking to more local sources, hence our request to you today for any contribution would be amazing towards our fees. Obviously, there is a sum in the application there, but look, anything would be hugely helpful too. We'd love to keep this going if we can. So that's the objective of those of us who are on the committee, obviously as volunteers, just to try and help this wonderful mahi for our region. So I might just leave it there, Mr. Chair, and happy to answer any questions or fill in any gaps.
Thank you, Lisa. You have been very clear. In fact, do we have questions for Lisa, please?
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Kay.
I'm being embarrassed always being first. Thanks, Lisa. It's interesting. Just a couple of questions. About how many students would you have involved?
We have 65 enrolled at present.
65, okay.
Yeah.
That's
always
fantastic.
looking for more. They don't
And-
need to be super musicians. They just need to love being in an orchestra and learning the music.
And from what age range? Is it just secondary school?
No,
Primary?
no, we've got 6-year-olds upwards. We do
Alright.
say 5 years, but to be honest, the 5-year-olds do find it really tricky. We'll have them if they can come along, but generally the most common ages start from about age 8 onwards.
And do you help out with instruments for people that can't afford it?
Oh, definitely. That's
So
really
you have
part
a
of it.
library of instruments, or?
We
Yes.
do, and they're always out on loan. So yeah, the orchestra's been very blessed with being gifted a lot of instruments that obviously we loan out, of course, for no cost. But there's always costs involved in repairing those instruments and keeping them in tune and so on. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Woody?
No.
No?
I'm fine, thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Lisa. That's very clear what you're after. And if it's the right word or what you're bidding for. So thank you for your presence.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
for letting
Lisa.
me dwell
Thank you.
in. All
Bye-bye.
right. Kia kite. Have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, we have Carol Parkinson from Martinborough Squash Club.
Carol, welcome, Carol. Right, we're into a new session. We're not too bad on time. Carol, thank you for being here in time.
Welcome.
Well, welcome to provide perhaps a 2 or 3 minute snapshot of the application. If you can ask a few questions.
Right. Martinborough Squash Club. We are just so busy over the term 2 and term 3 of the year. Squash is mainly a winter sport, but we have juniors playing Monday nights and Friday nights. So that's pretty full on for 20 weeks times 2 nights, 40 nights specifically just for them, plus tournaments. We have 2 committee members. One is a mother of children at primary school. The other has had kids go through now, secondary school and gone. They run the juniors and have been doing so for the last couple of years. The number of kids just keep coming and coming. We've actually applied for another funding grant to get new eyewear and squash rackets for kids for next year because we're just getting hand-me-downs and they thrash them on the court. So trying to keep them encouraged. We have a building that was built by community fundraising effort back in 1979, and we have what we've got. It's got that beautiful concrete cladding stuff that we have to deal with, and in light of the squash club is facing with the golf club next door, it stands out like a sore bum. And so we've been asked, sort of politely, to try and incorporate it into the new building project. That means that we have to investigate things, and when we looked at all the beautiful concrete cladding, found out that it could be susceptible to asbestos, so it needs to be washed and painted. And so what we really want to do is we get on really well with the golf club, is having an all-inclusive centre, because the parking will come straight up to both. There's quite a couple of families that are involved in both. We just want to keep going, and so this project is to maintain the courts and improve them so that these 40, 50 kids that we've got coming through keep on going through. And as I mentioned in my summary, like the secondary schools, St Matthew's tournament was all South Wairarapa, Martinborough squash kids. And then one of them, she's gone on to being in the provincials. So we have one or two that do that every other year. Well, squashes have become a bit more prominent. People know who Paul Cole and Joelle King are. So we just want to keep going with the sport.
Great, thank you very much for that. So very much part of your program to renew the courts. That's what I'm reading from the application. Do we have questions at all? Very clear.
Oh.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Carol. Did you? Oh, sorry.
So 40 or 50 kids, how many adult members are at the club?
I reckon we've got just over 90 members. So 40 to 50 kids, that leaves about, it's about 40. And of those 40 seniors, some of those are couples.
Yep.
So we don't have that many families or income streams that we can get to with donations. That's quite small. Yeah.
Thanks, Carol. Nice to see you.
Good, you too.
And I see you've got some funding from Payne State.
Yep.
And is that was through the community board?
Yes.
The community board?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're trying to do it in stages. Like we've got money from them. Trust House gave us some money. We were fortunate to get another 5,000 the other day from somewhere. And so it's enough to get going, but because it's winter, you can't do the stuff in the winter. So now we've just got this bit of money, we can start getting the builders on board, and hopefully the wind goes, and then we can do the painting. So it's the sort of stuff that you have to do over summer, ready for next year. So it's just starting to get those bits. So we now we've got some funds, we can get the materials in, but then we also have to have it ready to use it because we've got nowhere to store it. So we've just got to stage it out. As the money comes in, spend it, get it up there and do it.
What's the total cost, do you think?
Oh, it's gone over 50 grand. We had no idea it was going to be that, but that's with one quote from local painters, and they're not sure if they're going to be in a position to do it. So I'm actually getting another guy this week to come. It's down from Masterton. It's going to give me another quote, but we're talking quite a big area, and the fact that it's a 2-story building, you have to have scaffolding for health and safety and stuff like that. So there's a bit involved.
Yep.
So it's ended up being that much.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Carol. Appreciate it. Appreciate your experiences today. That's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, through you, Chair. We have Sarah from Aratoi.
Hello, Sarah. So yes as well. Come on up. It's great to see you. Thank you.
When you're dealing with you've got to have a few visuals with us. just got sort of
You can see we're keen to keep the pace up.
Yeah.
Carol, we have a few. Sorry, Sarah. Very good. Bringing the visual, that's good. Nothing like a diagram.
That's right. Thanks for having me. This is Wayne Skippage. He's the chair of our trust board. Just in case there are any questions I can't answer, he's here to provide. So yeah, you'll have in front of you our community grants application, and wanting to just talk to a few bits in it which showcase the work that we have done, the work that we do, and the work we will be doing for the South Wairarapa. Most importantly, we are Aratoi, the Wairarapa Museum of Art and History. So we are the holders of the art and history for the whole of our region. We have significant collections of art and taonga and social history that tell the stories of the South Wairarapa, particularly taonga. And we are the only collecting institution in the region for so we hold a significant collection of art that relates to this place. We also have a really vibrant education that we run. You'll see here a picture of students at Kahitara School. One of our recent endeavours has been to outreach to the schools themselves, because particularly for our rural schools, transport to the museum is their biggest hurdle. So our educator has done really hard work getting out to our rural schools, where she can see hundreds of students at a time and really get them engaged in our art. And our this instance was talking about art and the environment. She's really focused on curriculum teaching, so being a real asset to the schools, because most of our, especially our primary schools, with the new curriculums around history, it's one of the big sort of weaknesses that they feel they have, and particularly with art teaching as well, having someone who can come in who knows all of that is great. We've also really showcased the collection in the community with partnering the Wairarapa Library Services to bring the pop-up museum to spaces in South Wairarapa. About to come to this building actually right here in December. Also, we're such an important place for South Wairarapa artists. I just want to give Natasha Ratuva as an example. She's a Pinanoa-based artist, and her exhibition was incredibly well attended this last year. Over summer, it was where we were getting the most people come through, really showcasing our rural and Pacific communities in the South Wairarapa. And she's been able to leverage that exhibition to get that exact work to Auckland, and it actually is right now in Hawaii. So an Aratoi exhibition that she created is showcasing South Wairarapa internationally right now. And without that exhibition, this exhibition would not have happened for her. Also wanting to showcase the work that we're going to be doing with the George Payne collection, which is in the Wellington Museum, getting it back over the hill, bringing it back into the Wairarapa. The only way it comes to the Wairarapa is to a place like Aratoi, because we have climate, humidity and security systems in place, which no other institution, no other place in the Wairarapa has. And the Wellington Museum will not loan it to anyone else, because we are professional, we have code of ethics, we are part of Museums Aotearoa, we have all of the facilities and the professional staff. That's the only way to get it here. And we are working with them to bring portions of it where possible to Martinborough itself. Although we can't bring the actual taonga, we're really passionate about making sure that our reach is physically within the community as well. So yeah, if you've got any questions, I know you're at a timeline, so please let me know.
Thank you, appreciate it. Just to be clear, you're applying for essentially operational funding.
Yes. And that's what we've traditionally had in the past. It's one of those things where part of what we need it for is to make sure that we've got a collection manager who can take care of the taonga, that we have the staff who can do the admin for getting the exhibitions in and out, that we can have support for our educator so that we can do all of this work.
Okay, thank you. No, I appreciate that. That's, be shrinking from. That's, I think what it takes to give that a go.
Yes, and I know you do wonderful work there and I enjoy plays very often. But just in terms of your applying to all the 3 councils, I just wondered if you'd had any results from the other ones
So
yet.
the other councils we have multi-year agreements with. This is the only council that you change to the annual. So with all of them, we're still within our multi-year periods. Both are still affirmed to pay at the standard rates that they have been paying.
All right, okay.
Particularly our Marsden District Council is significantly higher than what we're asking for. And by significantly, I mean.
Yes, okay.
Significantly.
Any other questions? Thank you. It does feel quick. I know you're coming down the road. It's great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you as well. Thanks for the personalisation of the applications. Keep
up the great work.
Thank you so much.
Good luck. So Melissa from representing the Featherston area. Melissa, the RSA.
So much.
Good, thank you. I must make a confession. I have recently started working at the council, but I've spoken to my manager about this today, and I'm stepping stepping in as an RSA hat wearer today as a committee member.
I think that's fine.
Who are we?
I'm from Featherston Memorial RSA.
Oh, thank you.
You've got a funeral next day, don't you? So?
Yes, Martha Smith's timing has been taking place today.
Yeah, so sorry to hear.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so I have been drafted in as some of our committee members have been supporting the tangi today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Taking your other roles as well. I think that's, thank you. Your events.
Yes, so I'm from Featherston Memorial RSA. I've been a committee member for nearly 2 years. We've been focusing over the last few years on making the RSA a much more accessible place for the community. So demilitarising language, making it a safe space. We have gained safe space status for LGBT+ people. And we've been recognising more that it's a really important community space for not just for welcoming those to Featherston, but increasingly more for our elderly membership base and Featherston population base. We've been seeing a real increase in them using it as a social hub and a real place of connection for those who may not have whānau in the area. And we're also seeing that come back to us and being asked to be more involved in tangi, like Mātua Dick Smith's today. So it's become really apparent to us that we are seeing much more of a community fixture than we perhaps have been in recent years. We've been doing our best to drive up revenue through membership. So we've been doing some membership drives, some leaflet drops, hosting markets for Matariki and Christmas, and really trying to enhance that community feel for the place. We are approaching 300 members. We hope within the next year we'll reach that, which I think is around 10% of the Featherston population, which is pretty incredible for a small little RSA. But with that in mind, and with that realisation that we are so much more than perhaps what was once perceived as a place for, military retirees to drink, we're actually a community hub now. We have been looking to upgrade the building and make it a really safe, inclusive, comfortable place for people to visit. You'll note in our application that we are looking to upgrade our grease trap and improve some of the guttering and piping on the paper road side of the RSA, which has been contributing to some damp and some issues during heavy rain. Part of that is that we've had a lot of feedback from members is that there can be odours from things not functioning or from the damp, or that they don't feel as comfortable or safe there that we would like. We've managed to make improvements with heat pumps and some fire installations, but this is kind of our next stage of just making sure that this is a place that people want to come that it contributes to our economic well-being, because if the grease traps aren't functioning properly, we may lose our leases in Waimarie and things like that as well. So this is part of our ongoing plan to create a safe, sustainable, comfortable place for Featherston community to visit, and those members from South Wairarapa in general.
Appreciate it, Melissa. Some questions from Melissa here.
Yeah, thanks through you, Chair. Thanks, Melissa. Appreciate you jumping in with not your aisle, as it were. So you may not be able to answer this question. Last year when we discussed the RSA application funding, then one of the things we talked about was the bar and the food operation that was not that the revenue from that wasn't coming back through the club, but that was looking to be addressed. So there was a revenue stream that hadn't been explored by the club before.
Yes, we are. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, you're right. You got some rights.
Sorry. We have been exploring the leasing arrangements with John and Teo. As you know, they're looking to sell up the Royal at the moment. You may know that. So it's kind of, yeah, it is a little bit, I guess it's that negotiation. We have to make sure that our facilities that they are leasing are up to speed to encourage them to stay on, acknowledging that it's a difficult climate for hospitality at the moment as well. So we are seeing more events come through, which does, it utilises Waimarie, and it brings people in, but there isn't, apart from the leasing at the moment, there's no, kickback from takings at the bar and things like that. So at the moment, we're trying to move more people through in an event space, which may give us more, what do you call it? I guess negotiating power with that. If we can say, we're providing these amazing facilities, you're getting more people using you outside of the traditional family dining, we may be able to push that further. But at the moment, it's kind of holding on to the lease arrangement that we have and looking at increasing those in line with the facilities that we provide. So,
thank you. Comprehensive.
Thank you, Melissa. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well done.
Back to work.
We have Shirley from Featherston Bowling Club.
Brilliant. Thank you, Shirley. Up to the table, Shirley. We put you down the far end there. It's a long way down. Please come up and take a seat here. That'd be wonderful. We're just trying to race through our things.
Yes.
Take a suitable time, you perhaps 3 minutes or so just on your presentation, and then we'll take the questions.
I don't know if it's a presentation as such, but I'm here for the Featherston Bowling Club and I'm the president. We've only been, the new committee is what I'm representing now, has only been in the club for 4 months, and we have done a lot of work, but now we are needing more appliances for our kitchen so that we can do more for the club. Is that 3 minutes? Well, I don't know. I mean, I could go on about the club forever, but you've given me a time limit, so I thought that is more important.
You are in the process of implementation.
We are.
That includes obviously you needing to update or optimise your facilities, correct?
We do, and it's going to be more efficient for us to do cooking because it is about our kitchen.
Yes.
And it's about the appliances that we have applied for. So it just means that if we have more update appliances, we can do more cooking, and if we do more cooking, then we're able to get more members coming in and feed more members. Really is what it's about.
So it's an old club, but you're resurrecting it.
Yeah, we are. We nearly lost it actually, so we've stepped in to try and get it back up and running again.
Thank you. Any questions, Julie, do you guys?
Do you see the potential for growing the number of people eating there if you've got the?
Definitely.
The demand is there.
I'd love to say we'd like 300, but we won't get that, Yeah, no, but definitely that is the idea.
What's your philosophy of the food? Is it good?
It is because we do have a bar there, so that, you know, that's regulations.
Actual food to the license, yeah.
Yeah.
Try to make it a bit healthy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, you mentioned, you inherited, so yeah, an uphill challenge with inherited debt.
Yes.
How big is that?
Well, I'm pleased to say that we've actually managed to pay the historic debts.
Yeah. Well,
And now we're moving forward to a nice, healthy
okay.
account. Yeah.
So somehow it's not going to get swallowed up by inherited debt.
No.
Is for.
That's right.
That's you on it for.
That's right. It's just that we haven't got enough finances to be able to get the appliances that we would really like.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 situation that you can't.
That's right.
Cool.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Chair.
It sounds, what do you?
Yeah, yeah, thanks for coming along. Okay, great. How many members have you got at the club currently? Probably.
Well, I would say about 30. But we'd like a lot more, of course.
So how many days a week is the sort of club with the bar and kitchen open? What do you?
Well, at the moment, we're only open 2 nights, and that's a Thursday and a Friday night. But we're going into the bowling season now, so we'll be open a lot more often.
And it's just basically appliances for the kitchen. You're not upgrading the whole kitchen. You just.
Well, that would be lovely too.
Just get the oven and that up to date. No.
Well, yeah, I have got some appliances here if you wanted to look at that, or what we are after, but if you want to look at it, I can.
Well, you know, it's fine, mate. Yeah, you know.
Really, thank you for that.
Thanks, Shirley.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you've done great work since you've been in there.
Well, 4 months, I think we've done really great. Yeah.
You've been doing it only for 4 months.
Yes.
Oh, well done. Yeah, great. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Awesome, Shirley. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we have our next presenter.
So we could, Wellington Free Ambulance could speak now.
Look, why don't we do that? And then that'll get us to 3. And then we'll make the most time.
Yeah. Be nice to have a break sometime. Be nice to have a break.
Yeah,
Hi, Shirley, how are you?
G'day, how are you? Welcome to the meeting.
Thank you.
I don't know how much you've seen. We're sort of having to push people through, so.
That's great. Happy to go now.
2 or 3 months, then we'll open big questions.
Sure. So you've obviously received the proposal. So I really just thank you for letting me speak today. I'm speaking on behalf of Dominic Barrington-Prowse, who's our key application to trust foundations and grants. So Wellington Free Ambulance is submitting the funding grant / requesting support for our key operational costs for Wellington Free Ambulance, but for the South Wairarapa district for the current financial year. In the past, and I'd like to acknowledge and thank you, we've had support from South Wairarapa District Council at $1 per head, and that's been an annual application which we continue to embark on. So what Wellington Free Ambulance is doing to give us a little bit more certainty is to actually, with a number of the councils now, we're looking at a 3-year commitment. That gives us some more certainty around planning and forecasting our outgoings. And we're also looking to the councils, if they do commit to the 3-year, to acknowledge that at $1 per head, if they were to approve the $1 per head, that figure would be adjusted each year according to the population. Fundamentally, that's it. We spend about $125,000 a year just keeping our Greytown ambulance station operational. As you know, we've embarked on a massive community fundraising event for our Masterton station, which we refer to as a Wairarapa station, and we've seen across all of the community that generosity allow us to almost get to target. I think we're about 20,000 away, the 8.5 million. So we've done really well, but our ongoing operational costs, as like everything, continue to grow. And our key message is, as per our original founder in 1927, Sir Charles Norwood, we want to remain free for our community. That's me. Any questions?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Very good questions. It's well recognised, well treasured institution.
Yes. I think we would
not for itself.
I appreciate what you're doing.
So yes, so the idea is I guess your outreach to councils are recognised per dollar per head, but actually also consider
Yeah.
multi-year agreement.
Just to give us that little bit of certainty as we go forward.
That's great. I don't think there's any more, I get it.
I
think we all get it, so thank you for that.
say I had a ride in one of those ambulances a few weeks back and they were brilliant, so thank you very much.
I'll pass that on.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
No, I think we've all had a free ride with you, so. Yeah.
So you have, Martin.
Yeah.
So is that?
So we know you've had a free ride. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Radio, in fact, we
Comfort break.
yes, we're on comfort break, but it's nice for them to be back.